Well, good morning and welcome to this broadcast of the Toyota U17 National Girls Soccer Championship coming to you from Fredericton, New Brunswick. My name is Andy Campbell. I'll be providing your action for you this morning. Just some sort of declaration here and self-disclosure. Born and raised in Oakville, not too far from Burlington, Ontario, but we'll try to keep all biases out of this one for you this afternoon. I've been a proud resident of the city of Fredericton for 15 plus years. So it's just a pleasure to be working these games and providing the play-by-play for those that are on board. If you want to chime in from afar as you watch today, give me a shout on Twitter. I'm at FredCityAndy, and we'll provide any feedback that might come our way. Action is underway. The game today featuring the 2-0 team from Ontario. They are the Burlington Bayhawks, and they are taking on the team from Prince Edward Island. They are 0-1 after a 6-1 loss to the New Brunswick side yesterday. They are the RC United out of the Cornwall area in Prince Edward Island, the Ramblers and Central Queens team here looking to get back on track after yesterday's 6-1 loss to the Fredericton District Soccer Association, the host side. And here early on in the first minute, we've got our first corner, and that will be coming from the far side of the field. Ontario with the corner, and that will come into the middle, headed immediately, and the Prince Edward Island keeper Samantha McEachern easily handles that one. Ontario in yellow, working right to left on your screen. PEI in red. And another header in the box, and that's kicked quickly by the same player that headed that right into the net. And we've got our opening goal here this morning in just the second minute of play. That came quickly. The header and then the quick reaction with the boot, and Ontario has a 1-0 lead. That is not the position that PEI wanted to find itself in. This Ontario team rather prolific. They've scored a number of goals already. We're just looking to see who the goal scorer was. That was Maren Boyle. As they say, almost headed it to herself. I'm not sure if it hit a body or the keeper in front, but was able to get the boot on it right away. So Maren Boyle, with her second goal of the tournament, has given Ontario a very early 1-0 edge. That goal in just the second minute. And already Ontario on the attack again. Amanda West sending it just wide. And Samantha McEachern in the PEI net now with the goal kick. Ball won't get too far out of the, or forward in the PEI zone, and already we see yellow shirts down inside the box. McEachern with a nice save, and the rebound going right to number 4, Abby Morrell, who gives Ontario a 2-0 lead. We are not even 4 minutes into this contest, and PEI has itself in a hole here. Ontario now up 2-0. Abby Morrell with her second goal of the tournament. She also scored in Ontario's opening day win, 4-0 win over Nova Scotia. And it's Morrell streaking down the near side. She'll look to move that ball into the middle. She's going to carry it right into the box, trying to send it in front, but McEachern, who obviously has been tested a fair bit already, now in the 5th minute, is going to be seeing a fair bit of work, I can assume, as we go on in this contest. If you're just joining us, we're into the 5th minute and already Ontario with a 2-0 lead. Off the corner, Ontario can't make too much of a connection there, and they'll fire it back into the corner. It's Morel. We'll get a whistle right away. And Prince Edward Island now has a chance to take a breath, collect itself, look on the reset. McEachern looking forward. Big boot forward. Played on the far side by Rhiannon McEwen. McEwen now sends it across the midfield stripe, and this is the first foray for PEI down into Ontario territory.
Hello. Yeah.
Samantha McEachern must be wondering kind of what hit her already.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah. Awesome. Great.
Ontario now moving the ball forward and stealing it away from one of the PEI defenders. We've got a run down the near far side into the middle. They'll kick it around the top of the 18-yard box. It'll come out. Trying to move it into the middle was Alexa Voss. Some give and go, worked through the center of the field. Rebecca Toombs doing some work there. Finally, Gia Green just sends it out of PEI territory. The yellow jerseys will give chase. Ball out of play on the far side. PEI with a throw in. Ball whistled down on potential handball there, and Ontario has an opportunity to move it ahead. Abby Morel with a goal here already today. Come out of the corner. She'll work her way, or try to move past Sarah Leclerc. Leclerc, one of the players, able to play it off the yellow jersey's foot, and now sends it forward to the midfield stripe. Here's Morel one more time. She's seeing lots of action in front, and Brianna Massia can't get a handle on it. PEI trying to just clear the zone. Katrina Gergich, she'll make a run down the left side, come into the box, sends it in front. Marin Boyle was looking to feed someone in the middle. She was watched closely. And now a sustained run down the near side for Prince Edward Island. And RC United unable to do much inside Ontario territory. They give up possession immediately. Ball comes out of play. Ontario will have a throw in. Gergich sends it into Karen. Boyle was upset there. On the far side of the field, Jenna Leslie will play it ahead. And here come the yellow jerseys down inside the 18-yard line again. They'll work Work it into the box. Ball will roll. Nice hard shot there by Karen. There's a red defender right in front of her. Now Gergich sends it into Boyle. Boyle steps through and sends it just wide. So if you're just joining us, you've missed a fair bit. We are into the 10th minute of play here in this contest between Ontario in yellow and Prince Edward Island in red. Goals by Marin Boyle in the 2nd minute and Abby Morell in the 4th minute have staked Ontario and the Burlington Bayhawks to a 2-0 lead and a 3-0 lead, as Brianna Massia is able to get into the box. That ball rebounding off the post after getting in behind Prince Edward Island keeper Samantha McEachern, and Massia with the easy tap in there in the 11th minute. No surrender though from the PEI bench. You can hear them cheering their teammates on. No give up. They do have their work ahead of them now. So Brianna Massia with the 3rd Ontario goal in the 10th minute of play. That's her 3rd goal of the tournament. She was good for 2 on Thursday, yesterday's 7-0 win over British Columbia. And now Morell pushing inside, looking for her 2nd of the morning, and just misses. Tried to go far post with that one. Morgan McCaslin in the Ontario net. Hadn't touched the ball until just moments ago and almost gave it away. Long shot in, and she has to scramble to knock that one down.
Cat legs! Cat legs!
Here's another opportunity for Prince Edward Island. That one fired just wide by Gia Green. So after going up 3-0 on PEI, Ontario having to deal with PEI's push for the first time. Sarah Leclerc unable to stop her defender on the far side, and that results in a quick strike for Ontario, who now take a 4-0 lead. One of those games that can be difficult to watch. Jaya Riggin, the goal scorer just moments ago. And that's her third of the tournament. She's scored in all three now of Ontario's games. One in the 4-0 win over Nova Scotia and one in the win over BC. And a run down the far line, and McEachran's beaten again. This will not be an easy morning for Prince Edward Island. Inside, we are in the 15th minute of play, and Ontario already with a 5-0 lead. I believe that was Amanda West on the goal. 5th Ontario goal.
Where are we, Sydney? Where are we, Sydney?
Massia playing it to the far side. And the speed of the Ontario forwards is something that the RC United side is going to have to try and deal with. They've been beaten to a number of balls both down the left and right sides here early on. And Boyle trying to play it into the middle. Ball bounces there. Picked up to the midfield stripe. Shot from a distance, and in the Ontario net, Morgan McCaslin handles that. Long kick forward.
I want to play out of the back.
Anna McCara. Drive ahead, and Abby Morrell just able to save that at the line. Her forward progress into the box thwarted there. Ball tossed back into play. And Massia and Morrell combine. Can't do much to get around Amy Thompson though. They will draw the corner out of that play. Another opportunity here for Ontario, already up 5-0. Headed in. Wow, opportunistic. Great effort to get inside that box and get ahead on the ball. In the 18th minute. Stepping up from the back line, that was Jenna Leslie. So we have had 6 different goal scorers for Ontario who have built themselves seemingly an insurmountable 6-0 lead. And we are yet to hit the 20-minute mark of this match. Massia, long ball ahead. And the speed shows there as Jaya Riggin scores, but she is dropped on the field after colliding with Samantha McEachern. The goal counts in the 20th minute. And good to see Riggin kind of bounce right back up. That's her second of this game. She's going to come off. Jaya Riggin checks out. And coming in will be Hannah Makara. Just checking in with our fourth official here, Otto Morales. So Riggin shaken up on the play, and Makara comes in to take her spot, or she will come in here. She's waiting on the sidelines, waiting to be ushered into the game. So Ontario actually playing with 10 at this point, but up 7-0. Here's Massia trying to work around Natalie Lane. She'll drive it into the box. Lane taps that out of the way, and that'll give up a corner to Ontario, as Makara now has a chance to check in for Ontario. The Ontario champions, the Burlington Bayhawks. The Prince Edward Island champs, RC United out of the Cornwall area. In a rather large hole early on here, down 7-0. Here's the corner, into the box, headed away by the red jerseys, but immediately onto the foot of Makara, who has just checked in, her first touch of the day. Now Makara looks to set up. She'll send it into the middle. That ball rolls away from the Ontario team. PEI collects it up and send it back towards Samantha McEachern. She'll have a chance to work the shift and not clear the zone, though, as immediately that ball is picked up by Amanda West. She'll drop it back. Katrina Gergich, she'll feed it ahead. Morel. West steps into the middle, streaking through and just jumping over McEachern, who is able to get a hand on it, stop the forward progress of Marin Boyle, and then reach out and grab the rebound. Great effort there by Sam McEachern, who has been under siege here early on. Great to see that effort has not gone anywhere. Lots of fight left at that end of the field. Here's West. She'll get it back. Looking to the near side. Morel into the box. Morel dances around one, sends it near post and just wide. Maybe a case of someone trying to be too fancy. Not that there's a whole lot of need to add to this lead.
Center forward. Put Cannon to the center mid.
And already Ontario making further substitutions. Sabrina Bertuzzi checking in. taking the place of Brianna Masia. So an opportunity here for Bertuzzi almost right away down that far side, and between the PEI net and Bertuzzi, the defender, able to ensure that Bertuzzi could not get to the ball. We've got a goal kick coming out of the PEI end.
You guys go ahead and use seat.
Morel for Ontario.
Good man. Come to the ball, man.
Gergich plays it into the middle.
Show again,
They'll bring it back inside their zone. Marin Boyle, who opened the scoring in just the second minute of play, looking for Bertuzzi down the far side, and might have been whistled on the offside. So PEI will get a chance here to attempt to push the ball forward. Abby Morel. Ball into the middle for Ontario. Hannah Makara. She'll send it near side for Morel. Top of the box. Makara. Morel. Far side. Diving on that save. Just pushing it out of harm's way. Samantha McEachern in the PEI net, but that does force the corner. McEachern punches that away, at least to the top of the box. PEI can't clear the zone. They do eventually, but Hannah Makara was right there looking for that loose ball at her feet. PEI able to play it away right away. Gergich coming in, she's upset. And Ontario quickly with the kick, catching PEI. Just kind of waiting for something different to happen. Kara Flynn's shot off a leg, bounces to the far side of the field. That's where Bertuzzi picks it up. She'll send it to West. West tied up and has the ball knocked away from her. She'll pick it back up, feed Flynn. She'll send it into the middle. Here's Makara. Free kick coming to Ontario, just outside of the 18-yard box. Sydney Pucarin looks as though she's setting up to take that. Substitution coming for RC United. Caitlin McCluskey coming in. Gia Green checking out. So McCluskey coming in to work up front, it appears. There's Buchanan. And that will sail over the PEI net. And Samantha McEachern will have an opportunity on the goal kick. We are into minute number 30 here. Ontario 7-0, leading Prince Edward Island, we have Jaya Riggin with 2 goals for Ontario already. Marin Boyle, Abby Morrell, Brianna Massia, Amanda West and Jenna Leslie have also scored. It has been early and often for the team in yellow. Team in red, Prince Edward Island, continues to fight, doing all they can to hold this powerful Ontario team at bay. Karen ahead. Now Abby Morrell, we've seen her come down this line a number of times, trying to work her way around Thompson, and gets the shot off, but just over the net. Ontario has equaled their scoring total from yesterday when they beat BC 7-0. Morgan McCaslin hasn't had to do much down in the Ontario net at this point. Got a close eye on proceedings right now. Long shot in, easily scooped up.
Feet! Good! Come to the ball, Sid! Sid, right to the ball, Sid! Hey, ref, did you call that a pass back?
Abby Morrell into the middle, sending it ahead. Turned away there. But now West, or now Morrell. A second shot off the crossbar, bounces right out front. And McEachern knew not to play it with her hands after Alexa Thompson had just pushed it back towards her. Thompson would have been better off turning and firing that ball forward. Good effort by McEachern. Some luck there for PEI. That ball was driven hard off the crossbar. Here's Bertuzzi down the far side, sends it into the middle. A couple of Ontario legs got onto it, but PEI able to clear. They'll push it ahead. Ontario, though, will take it right away. Marin Boyle into the middle for Flynn. Flynn looking ahead and making a run. She'll throw one on net. That's off the crossbar as well. Now a play by Morrell to keep that ball in with the scissor kick, but Bertuzzi just couldn't get to that bouncing, high, arcing ball without sending it out of bounds. So Ontario looking to add to its lead here now into the 35th minute of play. Abby Morrell knocks down McEachern goal kick. She'll send it ahead from Makara. She sends it into the middle. Bertuzzi with the nice tap. And there's goal number 8 for Ontario. Sabrina Bertuzzi checked in midway through this first half, and she's got her first goal of the tournament. So the hole that RC United finds itself in getting larger by the moment. No answer at this point for the vaunted Ontario offense here. Prince Edward Island with games tomorrow afternoon against Nova Scotia and Sunday morning against British Columbia. Here comes RC United over the line. Ball taken away, and Ontario tries to go forward with it. They'll come across this midfield stripe. Amanda West leading it in. Alexa Thompson able to get in between the pass in the box and steer it out of harm's way. Ball does roll out of bounds on the far side of the field. Ontario will have the throw in. Ontario with one game remaining after this, at least in pool play. They'll take on the host FDSA side. Shot rolls wide of the PEI goal there. So Ontario and New Brunswick will see action tomorrow morning. Natalie Lane controlling on the far side for PEI. She'll hand it off. That ball sent forward, immediately knocked down by Boyle. And Ontario comes ahead again. Boyle and Samantha McEachern gets her hands on that sharp shot. And then a big long kick over the midfield stripe, streaking down that far end of the field. Cannot get to it before Coslin does in the Ontario net. Ball whistled down and kick coming to Ontario. Not sure what Danny Lane can say to his side here as we approach halftime here, but he's going to have to find some words to inspire this RC United crew for the second half. Daunting is one word one might use to describe what lay ahead for them. And Ontario threatening one more time. Bertuzzi down the far side. She'll cross it. Streaking in from the back line. And the shot just off the side of the net. As McCara had jumped up from the midfield. Morrell knocks that clearing attempt down. But Alexa Thompson goes to work. PEI now able to work it to midfield. Jenna Leslie looks ahead, sends it ahead. Bertuzzi has the ball taken away from her. And here PEI's progress halted at the midfield line. Ontario moving ahead. McCara feeds Morrell near side. Morrell into the box. Alexa Thompson can't stop her. And the ball just too close to that end line. And Morrell just could not turn at that angle and get the ball into the net. It caroms off the side of the net. And Samantha McEachern will work the goal kick here. Halftime may be a bit of a relief for Prince Edward Island as they find themselves down 8-0. to the Ontario champions. We are now into the final minute of our 40-minute first half. Ontario, though, not done just yet. Bertuzzi on the far sideline, trying to push it into the middle. Gonna need some help as she works all the way down into that far corner. Nifty move to try and get around Natalie Lane down in that far corner, but the ball does roll out the back end. Boyle sending it ahead, now all alone. Amanda West, she'll just tap it nicely to the left of Samantha McEachern, and Ontario, before the end of the first half, has added a 9th goal. So for Amanda West, that is goal number 2 on the game. And mercifully, the whistle sounds to bring this opening half to a close. Ontario 9-0 on Prince Edward Island. RC United now goes to their bench, wondering what they can do to try and find a way back into things here. Stop the bleeding, find some way to reassess what Ontario is doing. We're going to take a break. We'll step away for a few minutes here, but we'll be back with second half action through one half. Ontario leading Prince Edward Island 9-0. Welcome back. We are getting set for second half action in this match between Ontario in yellow and Prince Edward Island in red, part of the Toyota U17 Girls National Championship Tournament. Don't know what was said down on the PEI bench at halftime, but the team from the Cornwall area of Prince Edward Island, the RC United side, definitely does have its work cut out for it here in half number 2. Ontario taking a 9-0 lead. In half number 1, they scored in the 2nd, 4th, 11th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 20th, 34th, and 40th minute, and have done a bit of a job of overwhelming Prince Edward Island through the first 40 minutes. My name is Andy Campbell. I'm here to provide your play-by-play. We are underway in this second half. Prince Edward Island now working right to left on your screen. Ontario in the yellow jerseys working left to right. And immediately they come inside Prince Edward Island territory. Flynn working near side ahead to Makara. Prince Edward Island gets in between that one, but it is picked up by Tiana Buchner, who plays it to the far side. Ontario will set up coming in from the far wing. Looking into the middle, that crossing ball played off the foot of Buchner and just wide. Right away, though, an opportunity for Kiara Flynn, who'd come in off the midfield position. Samantha McEachern in the PEI net holding that line. So if you are watching and want to chime in and have access to Twitter, at FredCityAndy. At FredCityAndy. Let us know where you're watching from and who you might be cheering for. Ontario came into this match not having conceded a goal and still hold a clean sheet. Morgan McCaslin, 2 clean sheets coming in, and has held that line through the first 42 minutes of this game. Ontario with a 4-0 win on Wednesday over Nova Scotia, and yesterday they beat British Columbia 7-0. Prince Edward Island came into this match 0-1 after their first game, which was played yesterday against New Brunswick, the host Fredericton District Soccer Association team. New Brunswick winning that contest 6-1. Jasmine Tang, the lone goal scorer for PEI. What lay ahead for PEI? Lies ahead for PEI is dates with Nova Scotia tomorrow and BC on Sunday. Ontario will wrap up its pool play tomorrow morning when they face New Brunswick. This game coming to you from the BMO Center on the campus of the University of New Brunswick. And yellow jerseys down the far side again. They cannot get to that ball on the far side, but a hard tackle draws a warning from our referee, Scott Decker. Comes to us from Nova Scotia. And a kick for Ontario. Long ball in. McEachern will push that aside, but it will result in a corner. Jenna Leslie. Ball comes over the top, and it'll come out the backside of that box. PEI cannot clear immediately. They do manage to corral that and send it forward. And now Caitlin McCloskey had brought it to the midfield stripe. Ontario, though, sends it back. Kiara Flynn trying to orchestrate that. Here's Sabrina Bertucci. She'll hand it off. Kara dropping it ahead. Cross into the middle. Weak off the foot of Lake Simon there. She probably would like a second opportunity there. At the midfield line, Tiana Buckner. Hannah McCara.
Oh, nice, Kiara.
Bertucci. Danica Cialaro sending it ahead. Opportunity. Wide open net for McCara. And we're at double digits very early in the second half. Hannah McCara in the 47th minute, and Ontario goes up 10-0. McCara had 2 goals yesterday in the win over British Columbia. She's on the score sheet for the first time here this morning. And just what PEI did not want to see was another one on the board before they get their first. Now Bertucci down the far wing, able to beat the defender. Long shot on Samantha McEachern, and she'll play that away. Here's McCara, just scored the goal to give Ontario its 10-0 lead. Sends the ball out the back end, and McEachern in the PEI net will set up the goal kick. Jack McPhail is watching from Cornwall. We say thank you to him. He's cheering Natalie Lane on. Lane made some plays earlier this morning in the first half. Haven't seen her involved in the play just yet here in the second half. Ontario pushing inside the Prince Edward Island zone again, looking to set up from the far side.
Come to the ball, Hannah.
Kiara Flynn. Sabrina Bertucci hands it off in the middle. Couple of red jerseys come together there, and finally Amy Thompson able just to send it to the far side of the field just to clear it out of harm's way. It might have been a moment of confusion as the Ontario offense looked to push inside that 18-yard box. Flynn near side. She'll roll it ahead for McCara. McCara hands it off to Simon. Simon has the ball stolen away by Natalie Lane. Ontario will add to its lead from the far side. And that ball didn't even leave the foot of the Ontario striker until almost to the top of the 6-yard box, and no chance for Samantha McEachern there. So in the 50th minute, Ontario goes up 11-0. That was Abby Morrell on the far side with her second goal of the game. Loose ball, top of the box. Morrell trying to get at it to get number 3, but PEI defense just kind of holding her off there. Gave McEachern a chance to get to that ball. And already Ontario pushing ahead again, and it's Morrell stepped into there, and that'll draw a kick on the far side. No, it won't. It'll be the kick coming to PEI. So obviously it was Morrell doing the running into there. From deep in her own end, Kiera Flynn will play it forward. Makara sends it into the middle for Simon. Now Madeline Robbins. She'll send it far side. Ciolaro send it ahead. Down the far wing. Out of the corner. Back. It's Morrell dancing around one defender. Into the box. Into the middle. Simon with an opportunity, and McEachern just gets a hand on it. Back into the middle of the box and deposited in the back of the net. I believe that is Madison Morrell, and we've got a collision between two Prince Edward Island players looking to make a desperate attempt to stop that ball, and it's Samantha McEachern who's down. But in the 53rd minute, Ontario has made it an even dozen, and Abby Morrell has done so with 2 consecutive goals here in the second half. Samantha McEachern, who's done a heck of a job despite giving up 12 goals so far. She's really held this RC United side in this game. The damage could be more. She has made some big saves, and it's good to see her able to stand up, move about, get a round of applause from her teammates. She'll walk that off. There was a collision right at the goal line between her and her teammate. Not sure who that was, as Morrell came to the top of the box and then inside the box to get the loose ball and push it into the goal. No chance for McEachern, and obviously when a teammate is there to collide with you and then actually McEachern's going to come to the training table and just be tended to by training staff here for the tournament. It probably will require a substitution, if not temporarily, here for Prince Edward Island, who now find themselves down 12-0. Clock continuing to run here. And from what we can see inside the training tent, it's not so much a concern with any sort of head injury concussion wise. It just looks as though they may be tending to a scrape or a cut. So with that, Adele Arsenault will don a keeper's jersey and strap on the gloves and step into the box for RC United. She'll see her first action in this Toyota U17 National Championship. Other changes coming here for Prince Edward Island. Jordan McPhee checking into the game. That's the actual substitution for Samantha McEachern, as Adele Arsenault had been playing a field position. She'll now take over in the PEI goal. We'll see if that's temporary or not. But Jordan McPhee takes up a spot on the far side of the field for RC United. The Ontario team, the champions from Ontario, the Burlington Bayhawks. Give you some idea as to how they got here. That provincial championship field featured 29 teams. So a real fight to get out of Ontario. And for some perspective, RC United claimed the Prince Edward Island title from a field that included 4 other teams. So the competition base much larger, and in the central Canadian province.
Don't want to play forward though. Don't want to play forward. Mikey.
Sabrina Bertucci. She'll hand it off to Flynn. Flynn across the midfield stripe. She'll work it right into the middle. Send it across the field. Morell looking. Ontario looking for the perfect setup now. They're taking their time, taking their touches. Long ball in, and what a great effort by Adele Arsenault on the first shot that she faces off the foot of Tiana Buckner. Not easy to step in, and certainly not easy to handle a shot like that, but nice leap, nice push by Arsenault to keep that ball out of the net. Madeline Robbins looking for teammate Simon. They're just inside the box. They miss on that opportunity. Ball comes to midfield. And Ontario works to set up. Nice give and go there. Makara trying to get to it down the near sideline. Into the middle for Simon. Simon's going to send it across the field. Now Abby Morell playing it back for Robbins. Robbins wants to step into the middle. She's met there by a Prince Edward Island defender, and they clear the zone. It's Jasmine Tang. Once again, Ontario sets up. They come to the midfield stripe. Simon pushing it ahead, looking for Bertuzzi. She gets caught up there with Natalie Lane. And a substitution coming for Ontario. Brianna Massia, who's already scored in this game, comes back in for her first action in half number 2. And she will take the place of Abby Morell, who has recorded 3 of the 12 Ontario goals thus far. So Coach Case Downey figuring that Abby Morell has done what he's needed her to do and give her a chance to rest and prep for tomorrow's game against New Brunswick. Give Massey a chance to have a few more touches. Simon and Madeline Robbins falling on the play there. Here's a chance inside the box. PEI, and Jordan McPhee could not get to that ball. This is the deepest we've seen PEI play to this point in the second half inside the Ontario zone, and they'll send it back towards the Ontario goal, but it does not get too far. Immediately yellow jerseys on top of it, and they set about their setup prop. Flynn near side. Bertuzzi on the line. Intercepted. Maya McNevin there trying to steer it forward. Ontario takes over. Long lead pass. Massia into the corner. She'll try and make that turn. Come into the middle. Sending the ball into the middle. PEI can't clear immediately. Top of the box. Bertuzzi looking for the far post and sending it wide. Sabrina Bertuzzi looking for her second of the match. PEI with another substitution. Sydney Wheatley coming in for Gia Green. Check that. Gia Green coming in for Sydney Wheatley. We're into the 65th minute of this contest between Prince Edward Island and Ontario, part of the Toyota U17 National Girls Soccer Championship. tournament and the Boys U17 Championship taking place here in Fredericton. Using a number of fields throughout this city, but this is where you're going to see all your online action. BMO Center at the University of New Brunswick. Madeline Robbins pushing the ball ahead. Lane will kick that out the far side of the field. Ontario will work the throw in from the north side of our turf. Opportunity for PEI to send the ball forward. Adele Arsenault falls as she makes that kick. It'll roll all the way to midfield, where Robbins picks it up, plays it over, and Ontario content to drop it back momentarily. Step forward. She's forced to drop it back. They'll play it back to the line. Ontario takes over though, just as PEI comes inside their zone. Darcy McKillop of Sport New Brunswick, one of the webcast viewers this morning. We say hi to him and thanks for the acknowledgement on Twitter at FredCityAndy. If you are watching, let us know where you're watching from. We want to include you as well. Brianna Massia tips it around Natalie Lane and then picks it up, tries to center it. No one there for Ontario. Great singular effort there by Massey to get around Lane and then get that ball into the middle, but there was just no yellow jersey in the box to pick up that pass.
Someone's got to slide in the gap. Too big of a gap. Kid, get up on 18.
Massia with possession again. She'll roll it into the middle this time, and that ball sent out the end line by PEI. Corner kick here coming for Ontario in the 68th minute. They are up 12-0 on the Prince Edward Island champs. Bouncing ball just inside that 18-yard box, and finally Jasmine Tang able to clear that zone for PEI, who start a run downfield. Tang racing with Kiera Flynn, but it's going to be Morgan McCausland coming out of that Ontario net to play that away from Tang, who has PEI's only goal in this tournament in Thursday's 6-1 loss to New Brunswick. Here's Massia, and she'll send that high and wide. Off the far side of the field, PEI able to pick up an errant Ontario pass. He'll come ahead. That's McPhee down the far wing, and she's tackled out of bounds. Throw in coming to PEI in red. Gia Green there trying to control it. Ontario come across midfield again. Lane steering Massey aside and then pushing that ball away from the box. Great effort there. Scoreboard may say 12-0, but there is tremendous effort being put forth by this RC United side. Good effort to hold that ball in on the far side. And PEI looks to set up. Bounced off a foot just a little too far. Ontario able to corral and make another push down that far wing. Stepping into the box, sending it into the middle. Big shot, and that one will get by Arsenault. And Vag Simon is the goal scorer this time around. And PEI goes down another. Ontario now has a baker's dozen. In the 71st minute, the Ag Simon. That's the first of the 13 goals that Adele Arsenault has given up, and there was an effort there to get to that, but that was a nicely placed ball by Simon. '72nd minute of play here, and Ontario has this one in hand at this point, leading Prince Edward Island 13-0. Scored 4 on Nova Scotia, they scored 7 on BC, and it really rolled it up here on Prince Edward Island despite a strong effort. So the Ontario output here so far this morning does equal what the Ontario boys were able to do yesterday afternoon in a game against Saskatchewan. They won that 13-0. So the Ontario girls looking to maybe one-up their male counterparts, looking to add another here late. Adele Arsenault in the PEI net will do her best to ensure that doesn't happen. This is now the highest total on the girls' side. Quebec had scored 9 earlier in a 9-0 win over Saskatchewan. Instant statistics from the local organizing committee's Hannah Clausen. Gotta love that. Doing everything we can to spice up and add as much to these broadcasts as we can. So we'll say it one more time. We've still got a few minutes left here on air. At Fred City Andy on Twitter. If you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. See if we can squeeze in a shout out as time winds down. Things do not get any easier for Prince Edward Island. They go on to face Halifax Suburban, the Nova Scotia team, Coquitlam, British Columbia's champions over the next 2 days. That ball offside as Ontario looked to add to its lead. Jasmine Tang, check that. Yes, Jasmine Tang, the player down for Prince Edward Island. Her effort has been noticeable throughout the morning, despite what the scoreboard says. Locally in the Fredericton area, the FDSA and the host organizing committee is still looking for some volunteers to fill some much needed work spots here in the remainder of this tournament. Ball retrievers, to be certain. You can go to the FDSA website. Those roles are needed to be filled Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So if you're in the Fredericton area for the Thanksgiving weekend, you've got a youngster who may want to help out and participate here. You don't even have to be that young to be a ball retriever. So FDSA Facebook page is also somewhere you can go to reach out to the local organizing committee. They would appreciate anything like that. And if you're following us from, say, the Cornwall area of Prince Edward Island or the greater Burlington metropolis in Ontario, at Fred City Andy on Twitter, let us know that you're taking part in this championship the way that you are. Here come Ontario. They are not done as they push inside one more time. Robbins trying to dance around. Massia has her heel pass turned away. Ontario brings it back out over the midfield stripe. Madeline Robbins now on the near side. Sydney Pecarin. Kiara Flynn off a leg in front. And that ball will roll out of bounds off the leg of Maya McNevin. They say it's off of Kiara Flynn. McNevin will now look to take the throw. It's coming from Alexa Voss. So with the injury to Jasmine Tang, Becky Buchanan will check in for RC United. Into the final minutes here. 78 minutes complete. 2 and some added time to go. Handball whistled there. Tiana Buckner couldn't get her hand out of the way there. Natalie Lane sends the ball ahead for PEI. Lane one more time. She'll send it into the middle for Buchanan. Buchanan has it roll away from her. Now Brianna Massia for Ontario. Sends it to the middle, the give and go. Massia into the 18-yard box, steps around one. Nice save by Adele Arsenault, getting to that ball off the foot of Massia. Not sure whether Massia was looking to pass it off there or sending it toward the net, but Arsenault able to get a hand on it and push it away. It does roll out the back end, and Ontario will have a corner. We're into the 80th minute, somewhat mercifully for Prince Edward Island, who who are down 13-0. Ontario continues to press. McCara into the middle, and that's just sent over the PEI goal. Madeline Robbins has been buzzing about in front there since she came on here in the second half. Another corner. Anna McCara sends it in. That'll roll out the back end off a yellow jersey. Oh, no, the official says it was off a red jersey. So one more time, the Ontario corner formation is set up. They'll just roll it in. Bertuzzi and McCara. A little give and go. Not looking to make any push toward the PEI net at this point. Alexa Voss in there, and Green trying to steal that ball away. Natalie Lane sends it into the middle, but not too far ahead. It's picked up and sent in on goal by Tiana Buckner. We're into added time now. There is the final whistle that brings about the end of this contest. Final score 13-0. Ontario does improve to 3-0. Comfortably atop the standings in the pool. Prince Edward Island, unfortunately for them, they suffer their second losses in as many days, and a much harder loss today, 13-0 against a quick and talented Ontario team. The RC United side doing all they could to hold them at bay. Just a little bit of a large job there. So Prince Edward Island will now look to regroup before games on Saturday against Nova Scotia and Sunday against Prince Edward Island. The final pool game for Ontario tomorrow morning, I believe on this field, against the host team from New Brunswick, the Fredericton District Soccer Association Wanderers. There will be more action on this webcast platform throughout the afternoon, with games coming your way at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Atlantic time. My name is Andy Campbell. Thanks for joining us this morning, and we look forward to having you join at least the rest of us in this crew throughout the day and throughout the remainder of the tournament. I'll be back to call the women's championship game on Monday morning. I want to thank you for participating in this one. Final score: Ontario 13, Prince Edward Island 0. Good morning from Fredericton.